Live then. Okay, the time is 4:23 p.m. I'd like to call to order the January 27th meeting of the Norwalk Board of Police Commissioners. We have a quorum, and let me see if I can find my agenda here. My agenda is missing. The first item should be public participation, is it, or call to order, which I've done.
It's actually the
Approval of minutes.
I've got it. Okay. So approval of minutes of the December 16th meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Sumter. Are there any corrections, deletions, omissions?
I have none.
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as submitted?
Aye.
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 Aye. And Commissioner Collier Clemens, are you abstaining?
Yes.
Okay. So we have 4 ayes and 1 abstention. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody waiting in the wings to address the police commission?
yes, we do. I'm gonna unmute Mr. Levin.
Okay. Mr. Levin, you have the floor.
Great. Hold on 1 second, please. Can you hear me?
We can.
Great. Hello, my name is John Levin, and I reside at 249 Chestnut Hill Road in Norwalk. Good evening, commissioners. You may recall that I last appeared for public comment at the Police Commission meeting in June of last year, 7 months ago. During the intervening 6 commission meetings, the number of members of the public that showed up to submit a public comment is 0. In fact, I'm the only member of the public to appear during a police commission meeting during all of 2024. Why? Maybe because people don't care, don't know about it, have no input to offer, are too busy. No one knows. But I will suggest that there may be a problem of accessibility, and you commissioners can take it upon yourselves to improve that. I suspect that the 4:15 p.m. on a Monday afternoon is not a convenient time or welcoming time for many, if not most people, including people who have daytime jobs or take care of children. This important city commission should be accessible to the public. In mid-September, I used the commission's website portal to request that the commission consider including an email address for each commissioner so that residents can contact each commissioner directly. I was told this request would be shared with the commission members. Can you please raise your hands if you are aware of this request?
Okay, this is not a question and answer period, Mr. Levin. If you want to make a comment, I get the drift of your comment, or you get the gist of it, but we're not going to put the commissioners in a position of being questioned online.
Sure, I understand that, but I would like to know if the commissioners were told of this request. But regardless, I did receive no response to this request, other than it would be shared with the commissioners. And of course, this item has never been discussed by the commission at any of its meetings since September. I repeated the same request, that is that commissioners have email addresses that the public can use to contact them directly. I repeated this request the following month, that would have been October, and was told that the mayor would consider it as he was responsible for such matters. Again, I received no response. I repeated the request again in November, and I offered to meet with the mayor or even just have a phone call to help him understand the logic and merits of my request. Alas, there still has been no response at all. Nothing. I really think that this response, or really lack thereof, makes clear exactly why the public should be able to contact you without being filtered or blocked by anyone. When we spoke last June, I pointed out that the police union contract was due to expire. In your oversight role, of course, you have responsibility for reviewing this critical collective bargaining agreement.
You're at
Mysteriously,
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
okay, you can cut me off at 3 minutes. I think I may go just a little bit beyond, but if you wish to cut me off, that would be your choice. Bear in mind, there have been no public comments before this commission for all of last year, except for me once. So allowing for the public to comment, I think is helpful for everyone. Anyway, mysteriously, the commission has had zero discussion of the union contract, which has now expired 7 months ago. Why? Isn't this your job? If you choose not to abdicate this responsibility and review the union contract, which of course will need to be renewed somehow, then I urge you to read Appendix A in full. The requirement therein for giving at least 24 hours notice to any officer before being subject to a random drug testing reads like a really bad joke. Like, this is how Cheech and
Okay,
Chong.
you're now at almost 4 minutes, so I'm going to ask you to we'll move on. Just for the commission's edification, when I first got elected many years ago, we tried several times to have a meeting at after 6 o'clock or 6:30 in the afternoon.
Okay, you know what?
And
I have about
there was we still didn't get any public participation above and beyond the very minor things. So
understood. So
if you-
I have about a minute more.
no,
to go.
you've had over 4 minutes out. You've gone a minute over your 3-minute allotment. So we will now move on. Is there anybody else that wishes to address the commission?
There is not, Mayor.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the recognition of Officers of the Month. Chief?
Yes, Mayor and Police Commission. Yeah, for December 2024, the Officers of the Month are Officer Nick Discola and David Bush. We have David with us currently on the meeting. I'm to inform that they have been selected as Officer of the Month. David and Nick were chosen for their management and professional endeavors in the department's duty weapon transition and training program in December 2024. In 2024, the department was awarded capital funding to replace the duty firearms issued to sworn personnel. Current duty firearms were in service for over 12 years and based on Department of Justice recommendations needed replacement. From the beginning, David and Nick assessed several different firearm manufacturers and models and chose the new firearm in consultation with the administration. The transition began in late November 2024 and continued mainly in December 2024. A transition of this magnitude would typically take 2 to 3 months based on the size of our department. In addition to firearm transition, they introduced defensive tactics, training designed to limit injuries to the arrestee and the officer. Officer Descola and Bush also completed less lethal training, which included handcuffing and taser tactics, which increased officers' training and the ability and the capability to de-escalate. Besides issuing the new department to over 100 new equipment to over 180 employees, they provided professional training and tutelage to the men and women to make them one of the most best trained police workforces in Connecticut. Due to their efforts, the department is better trained and equipped. Often officers in administrative divisions, such as the training division, are not recognized for their efforts. Their efforts make the rest of the department a more professional, capable workforce that can better serve the citizens of Norwalk.
Thank you, Chief. Comments from the commission?
I have a question. What did we go from and to as far as the firearms?
It was just the updated model of what we currently have.
Okay. And what is that?
It's a Glock 9mm.
Thank you. And how often do they upgrade? Is there a standard, or I know you said 12 years?
Yeah, it can range in between 10 and 15 years.
Okay, thank
Based on Department of Justice recommendations and the number of rounds fired in training. We do a lot of training, yearly training, quarterly training. So the firearms do get a lot of wear, and so it's the DOJ recommendations that they are replaced.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further comment, discussion?
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing that both Officer DeScola and Bush have contributed in such a manner that further equips our police staff to, of course, not only have better equipment, but also be better trained. And I think that's a great thing. Congratulations.
The administrative part of any job is often overlooked, and the importance that they serve to the organization and the department. And I just want to offer congratulations and thank you for your efficient and quick work and good work in order to keep our department, our police department, among the very best. Thank you.
Before any talk with regard to the firearms, I'm wondering, you say you replaced the firearms. Now, what happens to the older firearms after they've been replaced?
They're sold back to the supplier and we get a credit.
Okay. And I'd also like to accommodate the officers for a job well done. I see one of the officers here. I'm not certain which one it is,
Bush.
but I know both of you deserve to be congratulated for a job well done, and just keep the good work up. We appreciate Norwalk Police Department and all the work that you do. And maybe after we're finished, we'll find out which officer is here.
Officer Bush is here.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Nick also said he's on, but I don't see him on here. But
Congratulations, Nick.
he is listening in.
Yeah, I would like to add that the training division is one of the most important divisions in the police department, because we all know we have to have a highly skilled, highly trained police department, and it can be challenging to train 180 police officers over a period of time in something like this. And I know each month that we look at the training report, we always talk about how highly trained the Norwalk Police Department is, and that we put the Norwalk Police Department training up against any other department. And I think we would come out rather well. So I just want to thank Officer Bush, who also has a guest. Would you like to introduce your guest?
Yeah, Carol Grabber. You want to say hi, Olivia?
Hi, Olivia. How are you?
Hello, Olivia.
Are you proud of Dad?
You proud of me? You can say hi.
I thought so.
I'm so proud.
There you go.
Okay. Well, thank you, Officer Bush, again for what you do. And I know the commission is very pleased and proud of our training division.
Yes, and I too congratulate both officers, Bush and DeScola, for everything they did getting this complete. Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the executive report for the chief.
Hey, Mayor, Police Commission, yes, for December 2024, 181 sworn personnel, 2 open sworn positions for the month of December, 1 officer on administrative leave pending an internal affairs investigation, 1 officer on a leave of absence, 4 officers on extended workman's compensation, sick days used 195.29, workman's compensation days used 124.5. Officers Mozo, Giron, and Ben are currently on field training. For civilian personnel updates, 20 telecommunicators and supervisors assigned to combined dispatch. There's 1 open position that we're currently recruiting for through HR. 14 civilian employees assigned to support staff positions, fully staffed. Department initiatives and current issues. 1 remaining candidate for the January Post Academy was sworn in on January 9th. 2024 year-end crime statistics tracking lower in all major indexes compared to 2023. Robbery down 25%, burglary into a motor vehicle down 42%, residential burglary down 42%, major larcenies down 37%, commercial burglaries -4%, shooting with no injury down 53%, shooting with injuries down 50%. Self-initiated car stops went up 58%. 2023, 8,152 citations were issued. In 2024, 12,955 citations were issued. In 2024, there was a record high calls for service, over 86,000 in 2024, 76,000 in 2023. Finance and current fiscal year budgeting. All budgets are currently monitored by Mr. Dossimo of Administrative Services. Appended spreadsheets of December 2024 budgeting status. All operating salary and overtime budgets are tracked in the green halfway through the fiscal year at the end of December. As you can see from the administrative records, a uniform patrol overtime down 17%. Special services overtime is up slightly. They conducted a lot of special operations in regards to our smoke shops. They did several in December, a lot of enforcement, so overtime was a bit up. Detective Bureau overtime up 38%, following up certain cases and conducting background investigations. Training Division up 34% with the firearms transition. There was a lot of officers, so it was a busy month. And SVU Division overtime down 11%. OT and 5 accounts being monitored up 6% from December 2023 and up 44% from November 2024. But overall, we're still in the green in both operating and overtime budgets halfway through the fiscal year. State and federal asset forfeiture account balances are listed. Asset forfeiture ending balance, no change from November 2024. As you can see, the other data below, data entries December 2024. We have a listing for a monthly account listing for all the school security overtime that we are conducting for Norwalk Public Schools. And the alarm data, which is monitored by Jeannie Rilling, below in regards to alarms collected and late fines and such. In December, there was 1,087 jobs, extra work jobs, 895 jobs of work. There's an 82% staffing rate of all extra work. There was also a number of client cancellations that month, which affected the staffing rate. The officers worked 7,102 hours for 62 clients and called off of 85 jobs. As you can see, in regards to our records and different photo requests and court requests, those are listed in the underneath the records department information on page 3.
Looks like you had a busy month, Chief, or busy year, actually.
Yeah, it has been a busy year. Yep.
Busy year, yeah, and nice to see the report from Mr. Dossimo as well, to kind of give us an idea of where the budget stands and what the future needs may be.
Yes. So currently we're at 39% of overtime at the end of December, tracking at 39%, 6 months through the fiscal year. And we're right at 50% of salaries, right on track for overall salary predictions.
Mm-hmm. Good.
There's also a comparison. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
There's also a comparison of sick and comp time for your review and the comparison of salary and overtime on page 5, broken down by month.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, some of the overtime was escalated for the training division due to the fact that we had to bring officers in off duty, and it was an 8-hour training course for the firearms transition and the different use of force techniques that were taught. That was all done off duty.
Chief, I just had a question with regard to the officers, Muzo, Guerin, and Ben on field training. Is that at the academy or exactly? I don't need to know all the details, but when you say field training,
that means they've already graduated the academy and they're conducting your 12 weeks of mandated post field training. That means they're with a field training officer and they're working the road, and they get varied between the 3 different shifts among 3 different field training officers. And we assess their performance on a daily basis and weekly basis. And sometimes they have to be extended in certain areas if we see deficiencies or weaknesses.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So, Chief, just to follow up on that, when the training period is extended, is it based upon the particular area in which they need a little bit more training, or is there standard extension time?
It's more or less, it's up to my discretion based on the input. And they have what a form is called the DOR. It's a daily observation report, and it's broken down to different subject areas, and there's a rating, and there's also a narrative that the field training officer writes in. So I review those through the training division. I usually get like an update from the training division commander. And what we'll do is highlight certain areas if it's just report writing, awareness to the city where they are, where they're driving, their ability to operate a police car and multitask at the same time. So all those things are continually assessed through the field training, their interview techniques, the way they document things, the way they conduct their initial investigations. So they have to get a really good baseline grasp of everything they need to do as a patrol officer.
Thank you. And I want to comment again, this is the second year you've done this for us, and I thank you. It's very helpful to me. And the increases in citations that were given reflect that the public has confidence in the fact that if they call the police, that they will respond, and the fact that we had so many decreases in burglaries and robberies and so forth is a testament to the training that the officers are receiving and are able to put into action. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions from the commission?
Yes, Chief, on the comparison of sick and calm time, can you give me some sense or context or background on the sick time? I mean, it's averaging, I think, somewhere about 170 or so. I see a little peak on December, 195. Just trying to understand it better.
It's one of those social experiences. It's kind of difficult to track, but at the end of 2024, I did a full sick time audit of all sworn personnel, and we looked at several patterns, and some sick time issues were addressed within the past 4 weeks with certain personnel, in which we had possibly had suspected that there was possible abuse. But at the end of 2024, the whole police department was audited for sick time usage through administrative services, where I got a full printout, and we work with other administrative staff to see sometimes, people get hurt off duty, they break an ankle or something like that, they have an illness, so those are well excused, but there was a few situations addressed. Sick time is just one of those things. It's really not until we really dig into it do we find a cause, but sometimes we know there's a cause if they have FMLA, a childbirth, or an illness within the family. So sometimes they take extended time off.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further comments, questions, discussion? Okay, thank you, Chief. That brings us to the operations report, September selective enforcement report. I guess you're going to handle that, Chief. I don't see Deputy Chief Blake here.
Yes, he's off today. Yes, for December 2024, the operations report, Detective Bureau, they have 1 commercial burglary, 1 residential burglary. They investigated 4 robberies, 5 larcenies, 2 assaults, 0 shootings, 4 death investigations, 0 homicides, and 4 other investigations, and 0 sexual assaults for the month of December. There was 30 cases opened in totality. Suspect charged with threatening, first interfering in disorderly conduct following a lengthy standoff with patrol and issue. That was an incident on Adams Avenue on December 23rd, which started from a domestic violence. It turned into a barricaded subject with threatening. We did recover 2 facsimile firearms. Domestic violence, home invasion, assault suspect located by U.S. Marshals in upstate New York for a warrant stemming from a home invasion assault incident that occurred. I believe that was late October. He had fled to upstate New York, and we had obtained a warrant for him, and we worked with the U.S. Marshals where they apprehended him in upstate New York, and we returned him to Connecticut. Special Services, December 2024, they opened up 42 cases, 12 felony arrests, 1 misdemeanor arrest, 11 arrest warrants, and 10 search warrants. Arrested a subject by warrant charged with 4 counts of sale of narcotics. Search warrants executed at 2 smoke shops. Suspects arrested and marijuana seized. Search warrants served 70 Cedar Street, businesses, 3 gambling machines and cigarettes and cash seized, and liquor compliance checks with Connecticut Consumer Protection. 4 of 7 businesses were found in violation. I'm sorry, that was the Special Services monthly report for December 2024. So they had a very busy month, which account for some of that overtime I noted earlier. The Special Victims Unit, they had 35 cases, 0 felony arrests, 1 misdemeanor arrest, 0 arrest warrants, and 0 search warrants. Juvenile arrested for assault following a fight, located missing juvenile from Silver Alert that had been issued, and they have several ongoing investigations. The Marine Unit activity, they had 4 cases. They had the significant boat fire in December at the South North Boat Club. The total calls for 2024 for the Marine Division was 384, which represents a 25% increase from 2023. They actually partaked in investigations where they had 35 people rescued from the water. So they had a very busy season. Total criminal arrests, December 2024, 160. Patrol Division calls for service, December, 6,024. And as you can see the breakdown on the pie chart below on the distribution of between day shift, evenings, and midnights. The selective enforcement report for December, there was 776 citations issued, finishing the year at 12,955. We had the DUI grant hires out there for the holiday season. There was 22 DUI arrests, which is a yearly high. We had 22. We've never reached that amount, but they were very active in DUI arrest every single weekend throughout the grant hires. So it was successful. $37 tickets traveling too fast, 23 for stop sign, 55 for control signal, 57 people were cited for no license, 10 for suspended license, 22 for no insurance, and there was 8 cell phone violations. So there was another busy month with our selective enforcement. And in January 2024, 25, I should say, we've picked up where we've left off in the 2024 year. And just note, which is not on the report, I did an analysis of the crash data involving motor vehicle accidents from 2024 to 2023. We did see an 18% drop in car accidents in the city of Norwalk. So there was a decrease in car accidents within the city.
Very nice. Glad to see the increase in the traffic control signals, because I don't know, I'm pretty sure that the other commissioners probably see, and you probably all see, the people just flying through red lights now as if they don't even exist.
And stop signs too.
Yep. And I told you, I think maybe last month, I was pulling up to stop at a traffic light, and the person behind me got so angry that he drove around me and went through the light. So those are the kinds of things that we're seeing out there, some aggressive driving. Any questions for the chief or comments?
I have a quick question. Is Norwalk doing anything with signal light changing for emergency vehicles, be it through geofencing or Opticom?
I think the fire department has something.
Yes, you mean a device installed on the actual vehicle which changes the light?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, the fire department uses those.
Not the police?
I have to tell you too, I don't think they're very effective with the police based on the speed of the reaction time. Because sometimes by the time that thing is registered and the officer's already approaching the intersection, he's bound to stop anyway. And plus, I'm not a traffic engineer, but I do believe there has to be proper timing to allow the opposing intersection to slow down as the light turns red. If it's a quick change, they have to have adequate warning to have the other lanes change in time. So, but I do believe some of the fire engines and Norwalk EMS hospital ambulance have those equipped.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a general question with regard to the police vehicles themselves. I notice sometimes there's a red and blue light on, and then at other times no lights are on. Does that indicate something? Or
that was an option that we installed. It's just cruise lights, what we call cruise lights. It's when an officer's not in emergency mode. It just adds a presence. As you see, the Connecticut State Police, it's an effective force multiplier, shall I say, where you see an officer just parked on the side of the road with a steady red and blue lights on. They're not flashing. It's just a cruise light. It increases our presence throughout town. People see those. We're more noticeable. I think it adds to deterrence.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further questions?
I have none, Mayor.
Thank you. That will bring us to the Community Affairs Report. I guess Deputy Chief Dinho.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. For the month of December, the Community Police Services Division, that's probably their busiest month. We had total calls for service are 788 with 26 major events. You see them listed there for you. Some of them are the Suffolk Cruisers, which we did at TJ Maxx, and then several at Walmart. We had several tree lightings to include the one at City Hall, the Stews, and the Town Green. We attended the American Legion Pearl Harbor ceremony. There was also the Washington Street tree lighting. And let's see, there was a DMV truck enforcement day, which is also very successful, and the residents seem to like that. We had Wreaths Across America, which is very nice and very symbolic. We had a Christmas party at the Marvin Assisted Living. There was a Tip a Cop and a Santa event at Pausa Cafe. There was the annual Community Police Christmas party for the children, which is always a big hit. There was a person-to-person food drive, the Cadet Christmas party that they do so much throughout the year. So it's nice for them that they have their, we show our appreciation. The Kendall School Police Department tour, they came to the police department for a tour. Photos with Santa and gifts at police headquarters, which was also a big hit this year, which was done at the police department. The Silver Mine Santa Escort, which is also an annual event that we do. The St. Matthew's Santa Mass, Stu Leonard's menorah lighting, Kwanzaa City Hall event, and we had a funeral escort for retired Detective Rondello. Our traffic unit in December had a total of 393 motor vehicle stops. That's down a little bit from previous months, as they're definitely engaged in the special activities that we just mentioned. Of those, 2 were for school bus enforcement or violations of the school bus semaphore. There was 26 instances of parking violations and major selective enforcement locations. There were 34 total, but here are some of the highlights: West Ave, East Ave, Fort Point Street, MLK, Newtown Ave, Richards, Rowayton, Connecticut, Old Saugatuck, and Riverside. The behavioral health unit, they're pretty consistent. They opened up 31 new cases in the month of December, of which they addressed 31 and closed 30. 13 of those were hospitalized, and this month there was no partnership with the state's attorney. I guess none needed that, and there were 14 referred to services and 15 cases where they worked with families. For the training division report, you see we had 11 subject areas with total attendees listed below there. And then there is a printout of all of the training conducted during the month of December.
Any comments or questions from the commissioners?
Thank you,
Had a
Deputy.
very, very busy month.
December is usually very busy for community police.
Sorry, Tony.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of training, and I know that a lot of the events I went to, the community police department officers were there. The public likes to see them, loves to see them, and they do a really good job and brings a lot of good relationships between the city and the department.
Okay. Just a comment on when you wrote the word American Legion, Pearl Harbor, as opposed to Pearl Harbor.
Oh,
right.
Apologies.
Okay.
Okay.
And I too think the community police events that you guys have are great way for the community to meet with police and see what it's all about, and you do a great job, and I thank you. and I got to be at a few of them, and it was very enlightening.
I too found out
Commissioner.
that the month of you guys had a busy month in December, but
Yes,
as always, job well done.
thank you, commissioners.
Okay. We'll move on to the administrative report, Deputy Chief Lepore.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners. For the Professional Standards Division, well, for grants and inspections for administrative, our DUI grant, they had 30 grant hires for the month of December for a total of 240 hours worked. Officers made 149 car stops, issued 138 infraction tickets, which led to 18 of the 22 DUI arrests for the month. We were awarded the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, which is also known as our JAG grant, in the amount of $18,047. And this grant will be utilized to purchase some equipment such as speed signs and radar or laser guns. And any money that we have left over will be for increased patrols. No other grants for the month, but we continually monitor opportunities and apply for funding. For staff inspections, the staff inspection for the property room was completed in December. So this inspection includes everything from cleanliness, organization, storage, and access, to pulling over 600 items that are in the property room. And they get inspected for the tagging, the numbering, the location, the storage, and proper chain of evidence. All high-value items, which include money, drugs, jewelry, and firearms, were also audited. There's no major discrepancies found, although the storage space and the disposal of unclaimed property, we are getting ready to address. And as you know, we have an influx of, from everything from the special services. So we have that stuff coming in. So they've been very busy in the property room. Annual evidence funds were also, the accounts were also audited in the detective and special services divisions, and there was no discrepancies found. So that was a good inspection for them. For the crime scene unit, they had 101 persons fingerprinted, 41 were pistol permits, and our totals for the year, we had over 1,300 people printed and issued over 484 pistol permits. For the month of December, we had 22 cases requests for DVDs and or photos. We had 13 cases processed for evidence. We had 66 patrol cases processed for camera and photograph downloads. We had one background conducted on a massage therapist for Massage Envy, and for the total for the year was 40 backgrounds. We had no solicitor permits for December, but for the year we had 57 in total. We had no precious or pawn broker or precious metal permits requested. The CSI unit was not deployed during the month. For professional standards and accreditation, we have the promotional exam that will be given on this Saturday, February 1st. And we have 16 personnel signed up to take the sergeant's exam. We have 12 sergeants signed up to take the lieutenant's exam. We assisted Corporation Counsel with 3 civil cases, and performance evaluations were announced and are completed during the month of January for all personnel that work within the department, sworn and civilian. Body and dashboard cameras. We had no issues reported this month. We had 2 taser issues reported. Both had malfunctions with the laser. Both were replaced in full by Axon. We had 61 new requests for FOIs. We had 36 disc burn with videos and 25 electronic shares with Stanford Court. For accreditation, we are still collecting proofs for the standards. Our continuity of operation continues to be put together and will be reviewed during the month for it's in its developmental stages. Organizing our files for our 3rd year remote review, which is scheduled for March 7th to the 15th. This will include about 100 files, which is a quarter of our files, 4 interviews in critical areas of performance, and the assessors will usually pick what areas we want, which are like cash or funds amount, cash funds or accounts, internal affairs, the training and pursuit of motor vehicles. This year will also include our fourth year review in September and our physical onsite, which will be in October of this year for 2025. That is it for accreditation.
Okay. Another department is very busy. How many people are in the unit, the administrative?
For accreditation, we have Lieutenant Steve Kalmanides, who's primarily body cameras and body camera videos, tasers, FOIs, and directives and policy. And then we have just Jim Mosher, who does strictly accreditation.
Again, very, very busy, especially with some of the inspections and getting ready for your inspection through accreditation.
Yes. Oh, we have Lieutenant David Orr, who does our inspections also. So he does inspections separate from the accreditation.
So there are 4 working in your division?
3.
3 besides you. Okay.
Yes, besides me.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions of Deputy Chief Lepore?
I have
Great
none.
report.
Just job well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Chief.
Deputy Chief Lepore. It was a great report. I
Yeah,
do have a
very.
question under the grants and inspections under the second bullet reference to that JAG grant.
Yeah.
In the amount of 1847, this will be utilized to purchase equipment such as speed signs, laser guns, and increased patrols. How is the department prioritizing these initiatives in terms of where the allocation, if you will? How do you go about that?
Well, so our speed signs, they get utilized all over the city, and we have a larger demand for them. So some of these grants, you're allowed to purchase equipment with them, but there's a lot of restrictions on it. So when you write it, you have to see what we're looking for accomplishing and what they allow us to purchase with it.
Okay.
So we have to, when we apply for the grant, we have to actually indicate to them what we want to utilize it for. And because of our increased activity that we have, that falls into one of the areas we can use it for. So we're going to increase our speed signs, and we have software updates that have to go with our old ones that we have. So some of them need to be replaced. So this helps us replace our equipment, and then also keeps our technology up there, with them.
Right. Thank you.
Any other questions from the commissioners or comments?
I have none.
I have none.
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, that brings us to personnel matters. We'll have to have a motion for the tuition reimbursement for Lieutenant Sophia Galino.
I'll make that motion. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Palladino moved that one. Okay. Chief?
Yeah, Lieutenant Sophia Galino, currently attending Sacred Heart University for Masters in Social Work. She has submitted for reimbursement the course taken of Methods of Social Work Research. It's a 3-credit course times $804 per credit. Comes to a total of $2,520 plus a $155 fee, $2,635. Half of that reimbursement would be $1,1750. She previously received permission in 2021 to take this course of study. And the next form that she's included is the invoice included, which is highlighted. And I just did notice is that her grade is missing, but I texted her and she got a 4.0.
Chief, the math is slightly off.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
2675. And half
you're
of that
right.
would be 133. I'm sorry, 133750.
Yeah, she shorted herself on the adding the tuition and the fees.
Okay. I'll make that.
So
noted.
we would need a motion to modify that. Could I have a motion to modify this application?
I'll motion to modify the application.
Okay, and so that would mean that you're modifying it to read a total cost of $2675.
In 133750.
Yep.
For the 50% reimbursement.
Okay, all
Yes.
in favor of the modification?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Now all in favor of the reimbursement.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Next one is Nate Paulino. Sergeant Paulino, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion for the next one, which is Mr. Officer Palladino.
Paulino.
Paulino.
Chief?
Yes, in 2023, Sergeant Polino got approval from the commission to take this course and degree. He's currently attending University of New Haven for a bachelor's in cyber threat intelligence and financial crimes investigation. Course is taking crypto asset investigations. It's a 3-credit course for $1,520. $4,560 plus suitable fees, $400, which he has included in his syllabus. Those are applicable fees for this course. $4,960. 50% reimbursement would be $2,480. His grade was a 3.0, and he has submitted all the proper paperwork.
Any questions or comments from the commissioners?
I do. First of all, I want to definitely commend Officer Paulino. That's something that, of course, much needed, as we all know, cyber threat. So definitely, it's going to be an asset. I have a question on the fees. It says C syllabus, so I was trying to reference that, but I'm not seeing it. Can you help me find that? I'm looking, but I can't see it.
I thought it was this forensic thing, but that was just the I was
Yeah,
mistaken.
I know the reference is made to the syllabus, so I'm thinking, okay, so where is it? And maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see it.
It's on page, it's the 4th page. $400 for forensic systems.
Yeah. It appears to be some form of, it was probably some form of computer programming thing that he had to use for this specific course that he bought. This is KQLUE Forensic Systems Incorporated.
Commissioners, if you go to the back of the packet, if you keep going, there is a page in there. It looks like this, that has the syllabus on it.
Okay, I got the email version. Maybe that could be it. I don't know.
If you keep going back through a few pages past the commissioners, the agenda that he had attached, it's the last page.
Okay, that could be it. Oh, the last page. That's on the Mark Bozello. That's not, no. Charter Oak.
It actually says crypto asset investigations.
Crystal Asset Investigation. Okay.
It's on University of New Haven letterhead.
Okay, I see that. I do see it. I'm just not seeing the reference to what page is the reference to the fees that are referenced. That's what I'm saying. I see if this is the syllabus, I'm just trying to merely.
If you keep going on, there's a highlighted area in orange that says required materials for the course.
Okay, got it. Yep.
That's the 3rd page.
I see it. I see the highlighted. I do see it highlighted, but where's the amount? Is that where it's supposed to be referenced?
Well, probably should be on his, if he's got an invoice for.
That's what I'm saying. I expected to see it on the invoice, but I didn't see it there. And it just
But
sees
there's
reference
a-
syllabus.
There's
Yeah.
a separate sheet that shows that invoice. It says QLUE. I think it's the 3rd sheet in his packet.
It's sort of like one of these things, like it's like going to the bookstore. It was is required for this program, so we had to buy it separately. to use for this specific course. And there's an American Express invoice for $400 that says QLUE program.
Yep.
And that's correlated to that charge on his reimbursement request.
The $400?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's supposed to be part of that amount, is what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments regarding Sergeant Polino's request?
I was just somewhat surprised. I didn't realize that they had courses in crypto. And I was like, okay, so maybe this is a real deal, with regard to crypto.
Yeah, that's a coming thing.
Yeah.
Any further questions or comments?
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
I have none.
So,
I'm,
go ahead,
you ready for a
Commissioner.
motion?
We made the motion on this one. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, that carries. Now we need a motion for Officer Vazella.
I move review of the application for tuition reimbursement for Mark Vazella in the amount of $1,120.50.
Chief?
That should be 75 cents.
Excuse me, Commissioner?
$1,120.75.
Okay.
But please check my math.
You're correct.
Thank
Could
you.
I amend my motion?
Well, amend the application, and then we'll move on the motion itself. So if you want to make a motion now to amend the application.
I want to amend the application to correct the reimbursement figure to $1,120.75.
Yeah, an extra quarter is going to go a long way.
Yeah, buy a piece of candy.
Do we have, well, all in favor of amending the application as
Aye.
stated?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it's amended. Now, any questions or comments on the application itself?
Yeah, Officer Vazella, he got approval in October 2024 for Cornerstone Seminar in Management Information Systems. He got an A in Cornerstone and a B+ in his Management Information Systems. 6 credits, $987 for a total reimbursement of $1,120.75. He's attending Charter Oak State College. His course of study being pursued is a public safety administration bachelor's degree.
Yep. Any further comments or questions?
I have none.
I have none, Mayor.
I have none.
None.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, the application as amended?
Aye.
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 Motion carries unanimously. Next, we have bachelor's degree stipend request for Officer Kiania Simpkins. Any motion on that, please?
I'll make a motion
Okay.
for
Chief?
Officer Kiania.
Yes,
Simpkins.
Officer Simpkins, Kiana Simpkins, has recently completed her Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice cum laude from Post University, and she is asking for the contractual stipend and the permission from the Police Commission so we can move that forward.
Any comments or questions?
So am I looking for an amount or an invoice or something? I mean,
No, that's
Standard.
covered, that's covered in the contract.
It's a
Okay.
standard amount outlined in the contract.
okay, so it's not in our packet, is it correct?
No. She completed her course of study, and she wanted to give this to us.
Okay,
She's never asked
wonderful.
she's never asked for reimbursement. So, but she wanted the stipend, and I advised her that possibly we could do that retroactively because
So what is it now for a bachelor's degree? $750 or $1,000?
I do believe it's $1,000.
Any
Wonderful.
questions or comments on that?
I have none, Mayor.
I'd just like to say congratulations to her for graduating cum laude.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Great job.
We've got some smart officers.
We
Yes,
do.
we do.
Congratulations.
So all in favor of the congratulations as well.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. Chief, complimentary letters?
Yes, we got a complimentary letter from Commissioner Palladino for our community policing officers. November 29th, 30th, and December 1st, Commissioner Palladino had the pleasure to be with many of the Norwalk Police Department officers during the annual Stuffer Cruiser events at Walmart and TJ Maxx. Stood amongst with Sergeant Calise, Officer Sixto, Officer Olet, Officer Wazlewski, Officer Equi, Officer Paul Wargo, Officer Nieves, and Officer Omar Rivera, who were intent upon ensuring that each event was a success. The officers wished everyone a happy holiday and drew people into the cause by distributing candy canes, coloring books, pencils, and NPD badge stickers. They offered individual or family pictures of Officer Nieves dressed as Santa Claus, and when officers were asked to join the photo, they graciously obliged. Sincere thanks were expressed to everyone that donated. It was inspirational to hear them talk about how they hope to collect enough toys to give them all to the children in need of the upcoming holiday party on December 14th, as well as those that are unable to attend. Separately, there was another act of kindness that occurred on Sunday, December 1st. The police officers noticed that volunteer cadet was not properly dressed for the cold weather, so they took a collection amongst themselves, went inside the TJ Maxx store, and brought the cadet a jacket, hat, and gloves. When I realized what was going on, I asked him to please allow me to contribute as well. I have to say it was uplifting to see the young cadet smile and know that he was now warm. I'm so impressed with the MPD officers. These men and women genuinely care. It comes from the heart. You can see it as you can feel it. I feel so blessed to have been part of these events, as it was an eye-opening experience for me that I'll never forget. That is what holidays are truly about. Chief Walsh, Mayor Rilling, and all the deputy chiefs, Lepore, Dino, and Blake also spent time happily in the cold, stopping by, bringing us hot coffee, hot chocolate, and yes, donuts while spending time at each day's event. Thank you, MPD, for all you do. Norwalk is proud of you, and thank you to all who donated for the 2024 Stuffer Cruiser event. I am proud and honored to be one of the MPD commissioners. My fellow commissioners who have had the privilege of doing these events know what I am talking about, as they have been to many events to see what I saw. On behalf of the MPD police commissioners, we thank you. Merry Christmas and happy holiday to the entire MPD family. Norwalk Police Commissioner Ronald Palladino. And just to expand on those compliments, it was probably one of the most successful Stuffer Cruiser seasons that we've had since I've been involved in the event. The children's Christmas party, with overwhelming success, probably the best one we've ever had. It was, despite the cold weather, we had a lot of cold afternoons collecting the toys. We have more toys that we can give out, and we actually, with Sergeant Calise, actually gave out presents outside headquarters with Santa Claus dressed up, and that was another, it was like a pop-up event, and the community just loved it. And we gave out a lot to housing and other community organizations throughout town that needed it. So it was a great event, a huge success.
It was amazing to watch it and to see how these officers care so much about these children. And if you didn't know what the meaning of Christmas was, if you were at this event like I was, you certainly knew afterwards. And it was very heartwarming to see it, very uplifting. It certainly made my Christmas. And to see these officers interact with the children, and they're just so happy. And it was an amazing event. I was glad to be a part of it. And the chief, the deputy chiefs, Mayor Rilling showing up and being a part of it and braving the cold, because it was cold, and it was very uplifting. I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Totally agree.
Yes. Chief, could you just explain a little bit about what the Young Cadet program is about?
Yes, we have the Norwalk Public Safety Cadet Program, which gives opportunities for high school age residents of Norwalk to join the public safety cadets. They get an inside experience of how law enforcement, Norwalk Emergency Services, ambulance, and Norwalk Fire Service, how they work. They partake in weekly training and in meetings, I should say twice a month. It is supervised by Officer Prada out of our Special Victims Unit. She's a school resource officer, and we have several cadet advisors. And through this experience, they help us in different community programs out in the community, such as the Children's Christmas Party, collecting the events, and they have a quasi uniform, and they just help us out. It's a cadet program for kids interested in public safety as a possible career.
And the recruitment occurs at the school level, is that correct?
Yes, it's a great word of mouth program among the cadets. So they a lot of recruitment internally, and we have a very large program of over 30 children.
And recruitment is up?
Yes.
Have any of the young cadets actually became police officers?
Yes, they have.
Wow.
Yep. Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Chief, next letter?
Yes, I was going through this one, and it appears that the original email from this individual is missing, but just there's an email from Aaron Katz, EMS director at Norwalk Hospital, for Officer Obina Hernandez and Giron, one of the newer officers. A gentleman had fallen ill while swimming, and he had gone to cardiac arrest up at that facility up on off of Westport Avenue, and he was they found him floating, and they were able to get him out of the water with the assistance of an employee there, and they did CPR on him on the deck of the floor, and they brought him back. This individual, I believe he was a resident of Westport, who had been doing his morning laps and suffered a cardiac arrest in doing so. But between those three officers and then Norwalk ambulance, Obina, Hernandez, and Giron, they saved this individual's life, who wrote an email to follow up with Norwalk EMS, and this is the email that we had gotten from Mr. Katz. In recognition, a copy of this was placed into their personnel file.
Very nice.
Right, very, very nice.
Another
Yes.
life-saving event, and again, because of their training and skills and dedication, can have a great ending to a very tragic event.
Yes. And last, an individual, Mr. George Echan, he wanted to commend Officers Vasquez and Coletto, patrolmen on the second platoon, for their exceptional consideration and cooperation yesterday regarding a disagreement at Best Buy. Norwalk, me and the manager at the store, obviously they were able to de-escalate the situation, and all parties were suitable. And Mr. George had followed up by writing an email recognizing their efforts in quelling this disturbance at Best Buy that he had.
Okay, comments from the commission?
Very good.
It's always nice
So-
when people take that turn to,
Yeah, take the
Very nice.
time.
Very nice.
okay. So the next meeting is February 24th at 2025. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Mayor, can I say one more quick thing? I'm sorry.
Sure.
I went to the Police Commissioner Association meeting or at the Orange Police Department.
Mhm.
And they did ask if there's for 2025 Meritus Service Awards to put names forward. So I would be happy to do that if you have any to put forward that you would like me to put forward.
Chief, would you coordinate with Commissioner Palladino?
Yes, traditionally I get an email from that committee. I have not received it yet. We traditionally yearly always participate in that event and recognize the great work of our officers.
Okay, great.
Last
Then-
year was Officer Giantasio again. He's gone in 2 years in a row. But this year we'll definitely participate. But thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, again, the next meeting is February 24th. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned at 5:27. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Every week.